Hello, 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 year three. Welcome back, welcome back. Okay, it's me, Mr. Cameron, and I'm here for another lesson of English. Again, we're going to be focusing some punctuation today, okay, and it's going to be a new bit of punctuation that you haven't learnt yet in year two, or you might not have learnt yet in year two. Okay, now for those of you that are new with me, I always like to warm up with a bit of an English game. So bear with me again while I share my screen. And let's have a look. So here I am, and again, I've always got to do this, don't I? Move my face out of the way there. English with Mr. Cameron, and the way home for Wolf is what we're focusing our work on. So our warm-up today is looking for synonyms for said. A synonym is a word that means exactly the same. So we want other words that mean the same as said. What I want you to do is to write the alphabet down the side of your page, and using each letter, how many different synonyms can you find for the word said? Okay, set yourself a timer for 3 minutes. Okay, pause this video when you're ready, and let's see how you go. Good luck. Okay, welcome back. How did you go? I found this very, very tricky. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. Could you find 26 synonyms for the word said? Synonyms that mean the same. I couldn't. I think I could only get 24. Let's have a look and see what they are. Move my face out of the way again. I always go zooming through mine. So here's mine. I had asked, begged, called, demanded, explained, forewarned. I like that. It's a very good one. It's like kind of giving someone a warning about what's going to happen. Okay. Groaned, hinted, insisted, joked, kidded, lied, moaned, nagged, ordered, pleaded, quizzed, replied, stammered, thundered, uttered, voiced, wailed. X, I couldn't find one. Very tricky. Y, yelped. And Z, I couldn't find one for X or Z. How did you go? Did you get them all? If you did, I would really be impressed of what you used for X and for Z. Very, very tricky. I might have to try and Google it to see if we can find something. Okay, now we should be all warmed up for our learning. Let's have a look. So today what we're going to be doing is to try and identify the difference between direct and reported speech. Okay, so when you're reading a story, you might have found different things like, that you've noticed about reported and direct speech. So when reading a book, you may have noticed different marks like this. Okay, they're like two apostrophes together up in the air. Okay, so they're marks on the page. They're called speech marks or inverted commas, and are used to show when a character is speaking in a story. They show direct speech. So whenever you see these speech marks here, inverted commas, they are direct speech. Direct speech tells us exactly what a person is saying. It doesn't change it. It doesn't leave any area for any differences. It tells me exactly what the character has said. Let's have a look. So an example of direct speech may look like this. Wilf howled, help! You can see there, Wilf, what exactly did he say? He said help. Or sometimes it might go first. Help! Wilf howled. Again, there's exactly what he said. Or another one, it could be at the beginning and at the end. I'll help you, she called. Just reach for my horn. So this person here, it's the narwhal if you didn't guess, is saying, I'll help you, just reach for my horn. I know that's direct speech because I have the inverted commas. I had those speech marks there. Excellent work. Not this one here. Can you remember what that is? Excellent work. It's a contraction. I will help you, she called. Just reach for my hand. So let's have a look. Can you see direct speech in this passage? Let's look for the speech marks. Okay, pause the video here if you need to and have a quick read and see if you can find it. Go. Excellent work. How did you go? Let's read it first. Let's go, shouted Wilf. I'm ready to lead. You're too small, laughed the wolves. It's an elder we need. One day they advised, you will guide from the front. I suppose, muttered Wilf with a huff and a grunt. So every single line here has direct speech, tells us exactly what Wilf is saying. Wilf saying, let's go, I'm ready to lead. It tells me what the wolves are laughing. You're too small, it's an elder we need. And then you've got the wolves advising him. One day you will guide from the front. And then you've got Wilf again in a little bit, of a huff and a grunt, a little bit disappointed. I suppose. Yeah. So that is direct speech. Okay, it tells us exactly what the character's saying. So what is reported speech? Let's have a look. So reported speech does not use speech marks or inverted commas. Okay, it does not tell us exactly what a person is saying, but gives us the main idea or the main message. Examples might be, the bear told the wolves to leave the cave. I don't know what the bear said. He might have said, excuse me, wolves, but I need this cave now. Can you please leave? But knowing the bear, he probably said, oi, wolves, get out of my cave. Okay, so the bear has told the wolf something, but we don't know exactly what it said. Another one, is like this. Wilf howled that he wanted to go home. I don't know what he's saying. He might be going, I want to go home. Okay, that's how I picture it as Wilf. But he could have said other things as well. He could have been going, oh, it's freezing. I want to go home. Okay, or I really wish I was at home now. Okay, so with reported speech, it doesn't tell us exactly what it's the person saying, just gives us a bit of a hint. It does not use speech marks. Let's have a look here. Okay, so which ones here are reported speech? Which ones are direct speech? This is the way home, declared Walrus. Walrus told Wilf the way home. The ox said for Wilf to hop onto his back. Ox said, hop onto my back. Thank you, rejoiced Wilf when he finally arrived home. Wilf thanked the bear moth when he finally arrived home. Pause the video here and see if you can write down which ones are reported speech and which ones are direct speech. Go. Okay, how'd you go? How'd you go? So remember, direct speech. Direct speech has speech marks. Okay, reported speech doesn't. So there we go here. Direct speech is the first one. This is the way home. That's telling me exactly what Walrus has said. Walrus told Wilf the way home. That's reported. I don't know what the Walrus has told Wilf. He might have said, Wilf, come this way. This is the way home. Or he might have said, Wilf, head down that ridge. It's reported. We don't know what he's saying. The ox said for Wilf to hop onto his back is reported. It doesn't have speech marks. I don't know what the ox has said. Ox said, hop onto my back. It's direct speech. This is exactly what the ox has said, and it's got speech marks there. Thank you, rejoiced Wilf when he finally arrived home. That's direct speech. It's got speech marks, and I know that Wilf is exactly saying thank you. Okay? Wilf thanked the bear moth when he finally arrived home. Is reported speech. There's no speech marks, and I don't know what Wilf has said. Okay, so now your task here, boys and girls, is hopefully you've got a reading book with you, and I want you to go through your book and see if you can find 3 examples of direct speech, using speech marks, and write them down, and examples of reported speech, where someone said something, but they're not telling you exactly what they've said. They haven't used speech marks. Okay, pause the video here and look through your books. Here's some examples from mine from a book I'd like to read called Dolphin Boy. Yes, cried Jim, we can look for Smiler too. And the next one is, he called for Smiler again and again, but he didn't come. It's telling me that he's calling for Smiler. He might be saying, Smiler, Smiler. He might be saying, Smiler, please come back, please come back. Smiler's the dolphin if you don't know, but it doesn't have direct speech. It doesn't tell me what Jim is saying. So pause your video and let's see if you can find 3 examples of direct speech using speech marks and reported speech. Go. Welcome back. How did you go? What's it? You found it easy finding the direct speech? Yes, direct speech is a lot easier to find because all we have to really do is look for those speech marks. It's for reported speech that is sometimes trickier to find, okay, because you've really got to read it and look for it, okay. But thank you very much for trying. Well, let's have a look. I've got a task here for you. Let's see if I can move my face again. Watch me fly over. Whoa! So here's a bit of text here. This is actually from a newspaper article, okay, about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. In here, it's got reported speech and it's got direct speech. I want to see if you can spot it, okay? I'm going to read it first, then you can pause the video afterwards and write down the reported speech and write down the direct speech. Goldilocks Granger, aged 12 and a half years, was arrested yesterday on charges of burglary and damage to property. At approximately 9:30 a.m. yesterday morning, Nut Forest Police had a report of a disturbance at the cottage of Three Bears and went to investigate. When they arrived, they found three very distressed brown bears that had suffered a terrible shock. The bears live in a lovely, quaint cottage at the edge of Nut Forest. It is well known for its beautiful garden. They had left their home early in the morning while their breakfast cooled down. Unfortunately, when they returned, there was a terrible shock awaiting them. Someone had eaten Baby Bear's porridge, broken his chair, and slept in his bed. Baby Bear, a male who was only 3 years old, was upset but managed to speak to reporters. He said, "My bear is still shaking from the shock, but Mummy has made some new porridge and we're going to get a nice new chair." Daddy Bear, a 32-year-old forest worker, told us he was too angry to speak when we heard a lot of growling from inside the house. He also threatened to eat Goldilocks if he got hold of her. Detective Fox told us that he was deeply concerned by this case and would like any witnesses to contact the police immediately. A neighbour cried to reporters saying, "Goldilocks is a sweet kind little girl. I just can't believe she's capable of such wickedness." Maybe they had the wrong person. So let's pause the video here and I want you to write down the sentences that are direct speech and then the sentences that are reported speech. Go. Okay, how did you go? So having a look here. Excellent work. This red is the direct speech. How do I know it's direct speech? It's got the speech marks in there and it's telling me exactly what each character is saying. But the green here is reported speech. It's got a verb there telling us that he has said something, but there's no speech mark. So Daddy Bear told us he was too angry. We don't know what he said. He might have said, "Oh, leave me alone. I'm too angry right now." Okay. And we heard a lot of growling from inside the house. Okay. So we don't know what he was saying. He could have been growling like this. As a bear, he could have been yelling. He's kind of like, "I can't believe Goldilocks done that." He also threatened to eat Goldilocks if he got hold of her. So he don't know what he said. He could have said, "If I see that little girl again, I'm going to eat her." Or he might have said, "I'm going to devour that Goldilocks." You know, Detective Fox told us he was deeply concerned by this case and would like any witnesses. So we don't know exactly what he's saying. And the last one is direct speech. This is exactly what the neighbour has said. Okay. So let's have a look. What have we learned today? So there are two ways to let readers know what a character is saying. There's direct speech and there's reported speech. They use direct speech, uses speech marks or inverted commas to tell us what the character or person has said. "I'm going to eat Goldilocks," growled Daddy Bear. But reported speech does not use speech marks or inverted commas, and it only tells us the main idea. For example, Daddy Bear said he was going to eat Goldilocks. So when you're writing your story, boys and girls, okay, think about getting a mixture of direct speech and reported speech. Using one is, a little bit, if you use one too much, your writing becomes a little bit boring for the reader. You want to try and use a bit of a variety just to keep it interesting. Okay, good luck. I hope you found that very interesting. And let's have a look at our next lesson, a little bit more about direct speech, because that's something now we're in year 3, we have to start using. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.